Now let's get to some quick hitters, and we'll stay in the NFL, more specifically the AFC East, where Davante Adams is now officially a New York Jets. The Jets traded for the All-Pro wide receiver, giving up a conditional third-round pick in exchange. As for Adams, he restructured his contract to lower the salary cap hit to the New York Jets. 2 voidable years were also added to the deal, and the two sides now will discuss Adams' future after this season. Davante Adams is one of the best, arguably the best wide receiver in football. He departed from Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers couldn't make up his mind whether he was going to retire or not. And Green Bay had procrastinated in paying him. So ultimately, when they came to the table after the Las Vegas Raiders threw a boatload of money in his way, he told them to kick rocks. You took too damn long. It's time for me to move on. And even though he's had the Jimmy Garoppolos, the Derek Carrs, the Gardner Minshews, and others, he's still recognized as one of the elite receivers in this game today. Him being reunited with Aaron Rodgers should propel the New York Jets. Garrett Wilson is the other wideout on this squad. That brother can ball. Breece Hall is the running back on this squad. That brother can ball. The offensive line is trash. I don't know what the hell is going wrong with Tyron Smith and how awful this future Hall of Famer has been this year. He can't block any damn body. He's already given up five sacks and 16 pressures. Something's got to give. But in the end, this comes down to Aaron Rodgers. When you got that kind of talent surrounding you and you got that defense, it's about you, bruh. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, just to name a few. You got quarterbacks in the National Football League, particularly the AFC Conference, sitting there, Aaron Rodgers, don't give a damn who you are. You're going to bust your ass. You got to change that kind of thinking. And you got the weapons to do it. So Aaron Rodgers, go out there and do it. Plain and simple. Next up, the Jets weren't the only team in the AFC East that made moves yesterday. The Buffalo Bills acquired wide receiver Amari Cooper yesterday in a trade with the Cleveland Browns. The move gives Josh Allen a true number 1 option at wideout. I don't want to hear that part, though. True number 1 at wideout was Stephon Diggs, too. But you wanted him gone. Attitude issues. Amari Cooper is the polar opposite. Very quiet. You know what I'm saying? Keeps to himself and just goes out there and does his job. When he's had a healthy quarterback and he's been healthy, he's an automatic 1,000-yard-plus receiver. The brother can play. This is an upgrade. It can help Josh Allen. It's going to help the Buffalo Bills. It's going to help Keon Coleman, the other wideout, the rookie wideout, along with others. I get all of that. But to me, as big of a deal it is, and it is a big deal because it does upgrade that stud that is Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, it's still time for them to make noise with the personnel that they have. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I love this move, Amari Cooper in Buffalo. But he was once in Dallas. How'd that help him? How'd that help him? Now, obviously, Dak Prescott wishes he was Josh Allen. But that's a different story for another day. Last but not least, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, who are headed into the bye week after taking that ass whipping from the Detroit Lions at home Sunday. Team owner Jerry Jones is not happy. He's not a happy man these days. Jerry got heated during his weekly radio appearance after being asked if the Cowboys' lack of aggressiveness during the offseason contributed to the Cowboys' 3-3 start. Take a listen to this, y'all, for yourselves. Him talking to a radio host. Listen to this.
Now, don't tell me about should gotten a guy in the offseason.
Why not?
This isn't a damn word argument just because I'm not arguing with you. I'm dealing with how we line up against San Francisco. Not what I did wrong last week or last month or 2 months ago or 2 years ago. If I really gave you guys a list of all the things I've done wrong over the last few years, you couldn't be on this program for the next 5 years steady. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. This is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why.
why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
Okay. Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
Ladies and gentlemen, on this show, the Stephen A. Smith Show, that I own and operate, let me say it was a privilege to have Jerry Jones on this show as a guest a few weeks ago when he came on for an hour and 15 minutes. I know Jerry. I've got a good relationship with Jerry. I respect this man. He was never more wrong than in that interview. He should be ashamed of himself. That was bullying in a very flagrant fashion. You threatened a man's job because he asked you a question about a team you swore would contend, and they look like hot garbage right now. And it's got your fingerprints all over it because you did nothing this offseason. You let Tony Pollard walk out the door. You let other players walk out the door. You paid Dak Prescott, and you procrastinated before doing that. You paid CeeDee Lamb, you procrastinated before doing that. Had you paid them a couple of months earlier, you would have had an additional $20 million in cap space. You had Derrick Henry, a former Tennessee Titan, who lives in Dallas in the offseason, publicly declaring he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. You never even gave him a call, and all it cost the Baltimore Ravens to get him was $8 million. It probably would have cost you $6, Jerry, because you're in a no-state income tax state like Texas. And what does Derrick Henry do in the aftermath of signing with Baltimore? He shows up in Dallas on a Sunday afternoon and whips y'all living ass, runs for 151 yards. And you've seen everybody running roughshod over y'all, and the Detroit Lions walked into your house and not only smacked y'all around 47-9, blew you out of the stadium, but had more Detroit Lions fans in the stadium than Dallas Cowboy fans, chanting about the Lions, go, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to take that out on a radio host? Now, we have to call it like we see it on this show. And I've said this already, so I'm not going to be ultimately redundant on, from my day job. But it is important to point out that I take no pleasure in saying any of this. I do like Jerry. I am fond of Jerry. I've gotten to know him, and there's a lot of conversations he has with me that he doesn't have with everybody else. But to see him act like that on the radio shows me that it's getting to him. That means you know your team stinks. You know they're not good enough. You know they're not going anywhere. And you finally know that you're the cause. Because had you done something to improve this roster, they wouldn't look as soft as cottonelle tissue. But that's what we're looking at here. And for those out there that want to sit up there and dismiss a media member being targeted the way that he was, let me remind y'all that people who do media is an extension of you, the audience, because you don't get to talk to these people and cultivate relationships with these people the way we in the media do. If the reporters had done something unfair, I would have been the first to bring it up. There is nothing unfair about what has happened to the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. You have a quarterback that's won 2 playoff games in 8 years and still demanded the largest contract on the market just because he plays in the National Football League as a starting quarterback. You got defenders that are letting running backs run through the line of scrimmage 8, 9, 10 yards before they're even touched. This team is soft. Not from Stephen A. Smith. Football players who've played in the National Football League, who've won championships in the National Football League, who are experts on football, are speaking against their own brethren, calling the Dallas Cowboys soft. That ain't about a reporter, Jerry. That ain't about a radio host. That's about your team. And since you have unapologetically declared to the world that you're the one who makes the decisions, that means it's about you. You better than that, my man. You're supposed to be better than that. Before I get on out of here, go to one last quick hitter where the Los Angeles Clippers are set to open their season in their new arena, the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. Unfortunately for the team, brace yourself. Breaking news, surprising news. I mean, it's going to shock you. Kawhi Leonard might not be there, because the team ruled him out for the remainder of the preseason due to inflammation in his right knee. In fact, Leonard, who was briefly part of Team USA this summer, has not participated in contract drills in training camp. Head coach Tyronn Lue says Leonard has spent practices strengthening his knee and hopes he can start the regular season. Are we going to just say it? The dude is never healthy. He's always hurt. Somehow, some way, whether it's his uncle or whether it's people within his inner circle, this brother is an expert at hoodwinking the Clippers into thinking he's healthy enough just to get a new contract before the minute the ink didn't even dry. And his ass can't play. It never fails. Stephen A. too hard. I mean, come on, man. Come on, dog. Kawhi Leonard. Yo, man, you too hard on him. The brother misses 46% of his regular season games. He misses 60% of his playoff games. He doesn't show up to work. He doesn't. That's why I'm glad Paul George left and went to Philly. After all the Clippers have been through, after all they've done, do you know the only reliable star they have on their team is an aging James Harden? That's what they have. Because you can't rely on Kawhi Leonard. It's a damn shame. But I will give him credit for this. Props to you, my brother. I can take notes from you. You always get paid. Half the time you ain't working. That's a skill. You're really good. You are really good, you. You're really good, you. At that. Of course, you're great when you're healthy. But hell, we ain't even bringing that up. Kawhi Leonard and health is a damn oxymoron. It doesn't exist. Jesus. Steve Ballmer, Lawrence Frank, Clippers organization, in advance, before a regular season game has even been played. My condolences. His ass ain't never healthy. He's starting up the season not healthy now. So you damn well know once the playoffs arrive in April, he ain't gonna be healthy then either. My condolences in advance.